So hello everybody, welcome to this afternoon's webinar where we're going to be looking at how Education City can support Key Stage 1 or the first level learners. My name's Haylie. Bit of background on me, I was a primary school teacher for a long time before joining Education City, and I did teach year 2 for 2 years and also year 1 for a year as well. Hopefully I'm going to draw on a couple of my experiences through this webinar this afternoon. What we're going to look at essentially are sort of the bundles that we've got within Key Stage 1, such as the Phonics bundle that is available to you. Also going to touch upon those assessments that we've got there, obviously really useful at the moment in terms of tracking attainment of students. Some of our new PSHE or SMSCH resources that we've got available, these are brand new for this academic year. And then a bit of information about the newly updated curriculum map there as well. We'll touch upon other areas as we're going through. I do kind of get carried away with year 2. I think it's year 1 and year 2, I should say. I think it's got a lot of information in there, a lot of resources in there that I do love to show. Then we're going to have a quick look at the free resources and the bundles, the quick links there as well. So as always, if you're familiar with our webinars, you can ask questions as we're going along. Please do use the Q&A function that enables you to ask a question, and you can ask it anonymously as well by clicking into anonymous. You can also use the chat feature. It's just whilst I'm working my way through Education City, the Q&A box pops up for me, so it just makes my life a little bit easier. As always as well, the account I'm going to be using for this training is a made-up school. So please don't worry about any names you're going to see. They are all made up. I think that's just about everything. Let's head into Education City and we will get started. And here we are logged into my account. If you're following along at home, you may wish to use the classic view. Looks like that. Does the same thing. I just prefer the new view a little bit better. So if you click on the ribbon just there, it will bring you to this new view page. As I mentioned, starting off with those bundles that we've got available for years 1 and 2 or Key Stage 1 or first years, however they are referred to in your school. This is an English account, so if there may be certain areas that look slightly different when you log in if you're joining me today from outside of England, but I will point out those are out as we're going through, so please don't worry about that. So if I head into the subjects area, this will be one of the places that will look slightly different to you. You may have different labels on the subject areas, and this will look different to you. These may say early first and seconds. They might have stars down here. They might have class names. Either way, your youngest in the school will be at the top and your oldest at the school will be at the bottom there. So heading into Key Stage 1 is sort of around here, sort of that first year's, the first level students. And you can see you've got those different tool types available to you. Some think it's in there, learn screens, activities, and so on and so forth. But I wanted to draw your attention first of all to this phonics bundle. Now, this is sort of newly adapted resource for this academic year. And the benefit is now that you do have, obviously it's structured into the phases, but it's also structured into the sound groups just there as well. Another great feature is that for each of the sound groups, a learn screen has been added. For those of you who are unfamiliar what a learn screen is, you can see the little icon just there. It's almost a cross between a video and a PowerPoint presentation, but these ones are slightly different. The benefit of these is that it does the sounds exactly as they should be said. So things like this are fantastic for sending home to parents to work on with children. So you're not getting any puzz and tuzz. You know, they're all done correctly for you, and you can listen to those sounds with a play button, and clicking onto the letter itself, you've got the sound within a word, including sort of that letter formation there as well. And you can obviously then go through and sort of listen to the sounds that are being segmented and blended through. But it's the fact that it does the correct letter formations. You've not got any students starting up here and going back round. And also that correct sound, it will help help parents to understand what their children are learning, and also help parents to support children as well. So just heading back from there, you'll see you've got that. And scrolling through, you will then find an activity for each of those sounds. There's a couple of them there. Within each activity, obviously, students can complete those activities on EducationCity, get marked for you. So worth remembering that one. They do also come with the activity sheets. And again, benefit of these is that they look at the sort of letter construction as well as the sound itself. There you go. And you've got sort of those options there to draw your own A word on the line, or write your own A word, I should say. Really, really lovely tools that go right through tricky words, words for reading, see just there, up until phase 4 and 5, where we're looking at sort of split digraphs and trigraphs there as well. Another new button for this year is the Phonics Screen check. Heading over there, you will see that there is a basic phonics screen and a regular phonics screen, which is more familiar to the ones that students do in year 2, year 1. Well, do you know what? It's been that long since I've been teaching, I've completely forgotten what year they do it in. But they do it in Key Stage 1. They do the phonics screen in England. Again, not sure that anywhere else. But if you do want to practice those sounds, segmenting and blending, something like this is perfect. Play that there for working with an individual student, working with a group, or indeed popping onto the whiteboard and working with your class. You can see all the alien words have got a little alien. We can mark them red or not red. And we can go through and we can just sort of, I'm just going to select a couple of these just to give you an idea. There we go. Because when you finish, or when it's ended, you will be able to see the words that have been sort of read and not read correctly there as well. So you have got sort of that little summary that you can refer back to if you're looking at what sort of sounds your students can do and what words they can sort of segment and blend there as well. So all of that is a part of the phonics bundle. So just to show you where that is, once again, if you head into Key Stage 1 or onto first level, it's just that phonics bundle. And those topic tools, those phonics screens are here within the topic tool section if you'd like to use those separately. You'll also find in here some wheel tools. These contain different wheels of, in this scenario, sounds, words, letters, questions, commands and statements as an example. And the idea is that you can spin those reels to try and use it for modelling purposes with a class. You can use it for introductions, for teacher-led activities, anything along those lines. So this is a good example of those because we can sort of spin these. We've got sort of this word here. We can sound out, segment and blend again. We can just spin one. And we can nudge as well to find sort of, again, our real and nonsense words. So really, really useful tools. Do have a look at those. There's some lovely ones in maths or numeracy there as well. So in addition to that phonics bundle, we do obviously have some assessments just here. Please have a look at the EducationCity assessments. You'll find a range of assessments for English, Maths and Science, or Literacy, Numeracy and Science for years 1 to 6, or I believe it's P2 to P6. Don't quote me on that, but you'll find those for your sort of primary school students, and you'll see there's a whole selection of assessments that can be used. Again, you can bring it up onto the whiteboard, work through with your students, or you can obviously, as with anything, add to a My City to allocate to your students there as well. Don't forget, all of our assessments are marked for you. That's right, you're not going to worry about doing any marking when it comes to activities and assessments. Those are all done for you. Not going to worry about that at all. And if you're wanting some practices, have a look in the videos area. What you will find in here, in addition to videos to support students in sort of their initial language skills, recognising days of the week, vowels and consonants, for example, you will also find some really, really lovely reading comprehension videos. So just to give you a quick example here, you can see this is a poetry one, and you can play and listen to that poem being read out through the video. You've then got the activity sheets that they can read through or follow on with the poem just here, and you've got your questions at the end there. Can discuss it as a class, you can get them to answer it in pairs or as individuals. So really, really lovely reading comprehensions that will obviously then lead up to those assessments there as well. There we go. So let's have a quick look in maths, again into Key Stage 1 or those first years. Don't forget that we've got some fantastic think kits that sort of look those key vocabulary, identifying key vocabulary, as well as sort of introducing sort of new methodology to students, and obviously testing what they already know as well. So you can filter down just here again between those different tool types, just there. And obviously you've got things like ordering the months of the year. You've got the Think It question just there, putting the months into the correct order. And then if we have a look at the Think It answer, you'll see we've got the answer provided to you. And you've got that sort of next step as well. So I think it's really, really lovely for looking at next steps or even seasons and when they appear. You can see those via the images there as well. There we go. I did warn you that I like to show you the odd bits and pieces that I've picked up over my time with EducationCity. So heading back onto the homepage, just going to check really quickly, make sure there's no questions been typed in. I think we're okay, but I'll keep an eye on that. And I'm going to head into the curriculum map. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this may appear sort of numeracy, literacy science for you. And obviously the curriculum map is all of the resources that we have available mapped to the objectives of the curriculum that you teach. So if you're in England, you're following the UK National Curriculum 2014. If you're in Scotland, you're following obviously the Curriculum for Excellence. And what will follow will be sort of those year groups or those levels or stages again, followed by the units that you teach and the objectives that meet those units. So again, this will appear slightly different to you if you're joining me from outside of England. The one thing that will not appear differently to you, let me just select one of these, is the colour coordinated results just here. I'm going to show you multiplication and division one because I know there's a couple of bits in here. Here we go. So you can see times table videos in there, times tables, activities, and activity sheets there as well. And all of those are colour coordinated. So you've got your videos, activity sheets, and activities are even a different shade. And scrolling down here, you'll be able to see those think it's games there in purple, right down to learn screens, and I believe topic tools are green, she says. But obviously all of these as well, you've got the option to add into a folder just there or preview. And do check out our new educational games. These are our splat games, sort of the old school whack-a-mole games you used to find in the arcades. And you can see here, this is recognizing even numbers. And so we have to splat all of the even numbers. If we splat an incorrect one, we lose points. So it is all about accuracy as well as instant recall. So do check those out if you have time. Another new feature, we do have the filters, so you can just look for activities as an example, but they have now been grouped between online resources and printable resources. So if you've got any students working from home who don't have access to EducationCity online, they can still continue their learning through our printables. You can see there, just for that one objective, the sheer number of printables that there are available to meet that objective there as well. So please do have a look at those if you do need that for any students working from home without internet access. Heading back to the home page here, I've taken you a bit of a whirlwind tour there, haven't I, through the subject area, obviously the curriculum map. And now we're going to head over to the search content function, because I would like to show you some of our new PSHE resources just here. As you can see there, looking at different feelings, and you still have sort of that filter down that left hand side there for the year group, the level, or the key stage selection, as well as the different content types. The Story of My Life series just here, series of learn screens are brand new for this academic year, and they are really, really lovely in terms of class discussion and linking things within the stories to your own real life experiences, all about sort of empathy, as well as being able to sort of say, okay, I understand what you mean because this happened to me. We've got some lovely ones as well about sort of exploring feelings and why people feel in certain ways. And whilst we're on the subject of our series, please don't forget that our activities and learn screens are linked together. And you'll find those in series or linked to help you, so you don't have to go and filter around for everything. Just to give you a bit of an example, I'm going to show you one of our great cross-curricular resources called our Grandly Geographic series. You'll see here we have the learn screens looking at non-fiction texts for different areas of the UK or Great Britain. I always get confused between those, I apologise. But you'll also be able to see that the learn screens are linked with an activity series as well. So you've got those there, you've not got to hunt around, it's already done for you. So you could do one a term if you wanted to. But you do have that there. And please do check out our World War II cross-curricular resources, loads of others. I'm not going to go into them all because I'll run out of time. One thing I will show you though, if you are in Key Stage 1, if you're a Key Stage 1 teacher or a first year teacher, I would like to show you the Stamina for Writing series. These are learn screens, as you can see here, and they cover different genres of writing, from fairy tales and recounts at the top there, to poetry, to newspaper reports about the Great Fire of London, and narratives about the Wright brothers. So again, they are cross-curricular, and they also cover every stage of sort of creating that piece of writing. I'm going to show you really quickly an example of what I mean through the Stamina for Writing 3, which is writing a newspaper report about the Great Fire of London.
For homework,
so we start off with having a bit of a chat. What is a recount text? How do we find our information?
Okay.
And we move on to recalling the features of a newspaper report. You see, you've got your slide selectors along the top here, obviously applicable to the Great Fire of London.
The report needs to be organised.
It goes into the structure.
We must also remember
and also looking at how to write in past tense, how to use quotation marks, and how to write in the third person. So essentially, each of these slides is probably a different lesson's worth of learning, and it's all there for you, right into what each paragraph needs to contain. And at the very end,
our newspaper report on
that written example, what your students are aiming towards. So even if you're not doing the Great Fire of London, you can still use this structure in order to write a newspaper report. So please do check out those Stamina for Writing Learn Screen series. They are amazing. Absolutely love those. So as I mentioned, we do have our assessments. If you're on the new view, you will be able to view assessments via this tile and sort of allocate them really quickly. Please do have a look at those. As I mentioned, assessments get marked for you as well as activities, so you can then track data within our success tracker. So last couple of bits then for you are freebies. We've got obviously our quick links to our Play Live game, as well as our times table and phonics resources bundles just there. We've also got an online safety bundle, because we know if students are using EducationCity online, we need them to be safe. So this is all about staying safe online and what to do if certain situations were to arise. We do also have our teacher resource pack just here as well. I show this in every webinar, but it's so good. And this is filled with all of the content that you probably spend a lot of time making for your students. You'll see there are things for display purposes, things like this one, the time conversions that look at the days of the week, months of the year, that you could probably blow up and put on display just there. You'll find things in here for different subjects, English, maths and science. And just to give you an example as well, you can see there's some graphs and grids. We also have blank number lines. If I scroll through it here, they are just here. So sort of thing you could probably laminate or put in a Polly Pocket for students to do the calculations on just there. You can see there's some ready-made ones just there as well. Scrolling all the way down to the bottom, I'm going to scroll down really quickly because you will also find some flashcards just there, as well as some flashcards for punctuation. There we go. Even pop in a little, we used to call them spin pins. I'm sure you know what I mean. The little spin pin in the corner so they can sort of fold out into a fan-like fashion. And then looking at parts of speech there as well. There's absolutely loads in here. Please do explore. Absolutely loads. And if you're doing some creative, descriptive writing, this imagery chart is brilliant. So that is just about everything from me. Has anybody got any questions? Just checking the Q&A and the chat box there. Don't worry if you can't think of any right now, because if you think of any over the coming days, you can always get in touch with me here via my email address. That's customerservice@educationcity.com. customerservice@educationcity.com. Any questions about this webinar, about future webinars, or about Education City in general, please do get in touch. I always love to hear from you. I hope to see you at future webinars. Don't forget, we've got our Christmas winter webinar coming up soon that you can register for. Just go to educationcity.com, look for the webinars. You'll be able to click on the link to register for that. Until next time then, please do take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.